himself. But the answer was Chris Wallace.
Gremlins. One of folklore's most feared demons has made a comeback with the Midas touch of Steven Spielberg. This blockbuster grossed over $12 million in the first week it hit the theaters. And what makes this movie so unusual is that the human actors are not the stars, it's the creatures who steal the show.
It was Hoyt Axton who said that Gremlins is like E.T. with teeth. And I think what he was referring to was that it had all of the charm and the sweetness that E.T. had, and it just goes crazy.
Special effects wizard Chris Wallace is the Gremlins' daddy. He and his creatures crew have made actors out of the Gremlins.
We got this guy, who was the very first version, and he wound up being a little too small for our purposes because they're very difficult to make these guys move when they're little. So I tried to make a larger, slightly larger one with more of a puppy dog flavor, and wound up being a blondie, but we didn't like it, so we said forget it. But this is the sort of thing that we went through as an evolutionary step, and eventually came up with the gizmo we all know.
Unfortunately, Gizmo does get wet, and that unleashes the wrath of the Gremlins. The Gremlins have put Chris's name in lights, but this isn't Chris's only claim to fame. He's been creating reptilian creepy since he first laid eyes on Godzilla some 20 years ago. Now his monsters have become institutions. Piranha, dragon slayers, exploding heads in scanners, melting faces in Raiders of the Lost Ark, rock eaters, hairy monsters in The Empire Strikes Back, to the real-life looking crocodile in Romancing the Stone.
The same guys who did a lot of the work on it, a lot of the construction and the fabrication, actually are the same guys who wind up going on location and operating, right? Right? He's a well-behaved little guy.
Chris lives in horror movie heaven. He spends his days in Marin County dreaming up and making latex monsters that walk, talk, and scare the pants off moviegoers. But Chris says it takes more than just an ugly face to make a good monster. It takes special people. Chris, his wife Carol, and his staff are not your average 9-to-5ers.
I think Chris lets us do what we want to do.
No matter how silly or ridiculous you act personally, you know that Chris will always act more silly, more immature than you.
Chris well deserves his credit as a wunderkind, but when it comes to movie making, he's a pro. The Gremlins were his ultimate challenge. They had to do more things than any other rubber creature in movie history. They had to skateboard, swing from fans, and break dance. Some of the puppets are valued at $80,000 and took over 15 people to operate.
Each cable controls a specific function on the puppet, and when the operator makes a specific move, you can see that something else makes a specific move here as well.
Gremlins has made movie history in more ways than one. Some people thought the movie was a sick joke full of terrifying, nasty antics. There was such a reaction that the Motion Picture Association of America changed the PG rating to PG-13. That's no kids under 13 without a parent.
One thing that you have to take into account is the real attitude of the film, and basically it's a big live-action cartoon. I mean, you don't see monsters' claws ripping through people's flesh and anything that gruesome. Matter of fact, there's not a drop of human blood in the whole picture. Be careful.